pussy. You know, listen. Only thing George is very good at putting people to sleep, but not by knocking them out, because he's so boring. He's the only man I know that can put coffee to sleep. Boring as great fighter, but he's a boring guy. So boring.
You're bringing the jokes, yeah?
Say that again?
Comedian.
Say that again? And there you go.
Anything to add?
You're talking, bro. Carry on. As long as you can keep speaking for. Go on. Say something, bro.
Huh?
Say something.
You say something.
Bro, I'm giving you the
wrap
stage to
up what
speak,
you're
bro.
saying, all the, you know,
I'll give you the stage to
that
speak.
you're chatting about. Anyway, we're gonna have a big fight, and I'm gonna punch you in the face. You're gonna try and punch me in the face, but I'm gonna win at the end of the day.
That statement sounds so convincing and so eloquent.
Yeah, I'm confident in my ability.
There is Dillian Whyte and Joyce going at it as Dillian Whyte calls Joyce boring. That was funny. I mean, because there is some truth to that. Joyce isn't really the best speaker. You know, he doesn't put words together well. Now, I've talked about Joyce, a couple days ago, and my concern with Joyce. Hopefully he's not in a situation where he's suffering from some kind of syndrome that's stopping him from articulating words well. Because if that's the case, that's a problem. But if he's naturally like that, that's a whole different issue. He just can't speak well. But I'll say this, right? Dillian Whyte, is selling the fight. That's what he's supposed to do. More power to him. High impact. We get to see it April 5th. So it's going down, right? Joyce versus Dillian Whyte, a fight that we wanted to see a couple of years ago before Joyce fell to Zhang. Okay, that being said, let's take a look at the reality. The reality is, it doesn't matter how good you talk. How good can you fight? How good can you perform under those bright lights? It sounds good. You may sound well. You may speak well. You may have good jokes. You may sell the fight well, which that's just what you're supposed to do. So again, shout out to Dillian Whyte. But it happens. That's important. What goes down in rounds 1 through whenever, right? It reminds me of, if you guys can remember, let me just shoot you the clip.
It wasn't disrespectful, it was just a phrase I used, but he said, "Let's go now." And I clicked for a minute. I said, "What does he mean by that?" And then he repeated it again. And I just feel like anyone in here, if I was...
Boxing, this is what happens. This is boxing. These things happen. So, we're fighting Saturday. Let's go.
So as I was saying, at the press conference, I just feel like you should never let anyone take an inch, because I'll end up taking a mile. You know what I mean, Dan? Sorry?
And you see, that shit was absolutely hilarious. But what happened in the fight? Daniel Dubois came out there and destroyed Joshua. And Joshua, if you was looking at that press conference and how, Dylan, Dubois was all kind of looking around, uncertain, really didn't feel comfortable in that environment. What environment did he become comfortable in? The one that mattered, in the ring. Okay, so this may be the same type of scenario where Joyce is not a good speaker, but he's good at bashing you and taking you out. So, Dillian Whyte saying that winning that fight doesn't mean he's going to win the next one. So keep that in mind when you see stuff like that from Joyce and Dillian Whyte, because we haven't seen these guys fight before. Again, it's hilarious. It's humorous. It's marketable. I like it. But at the same time, what can these guys do in the ring? And Joyce is a guy, though, he never really been big on words. We can say the same thing about when Joyce bashed up and made Daniel Dubois quit. Because Daniel Dubois was saying foul shit that people were trying to put him up to, knowing damn well he's not even about that way of talking and stuff like that. We can tell from the Joshua press conferences that he doesn't even say stuff like that. He was talking about Joe Joyce's mom. You guys can remember, oh, well, it's a good thing that your mom can't see so she won't have to see you get knocked out by me, then all that shit. Remember that? And then Joe Joyce came out there and damn near took his eye out. Those type of things that happen when people tend to talk too much, when people tend to sell the fight or go and buy into the hype. Bars. That's what happens. You know, so I think we need to keep that under advisement when we see hilarious press conferences like this. It's hilarious. I like to see them. It's entertaining. But at the same time, it's not all she wrote. But you guys tell me what you think of Dillian Whyte stating that Joe Joyce is a boring fighter and he's boring. He can't sell anything. And of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched.